Hi, this is Lisa Kelly, Notre Dame author and class of 1993, and you are watching the Two Irish Brothers show. Cheers and go Irish.
Here's Zibikowski trying to get to the outside. He has blockers in front. Tom Zibikowski, Malone to beat, shakes him off to the 5 and a touchdown.
What's up, everyone? I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And together we make up the Two Irish Brothers show. You guys know the ordeal. Hit that subscribe tab in the bottom right-hand corner. Like or dislike the video. Doesn't matter to us. It helps the algorithm. And make sure you guys check out everything down below, where we're located on social media, and check out the golf tour that Irv Smith and others have been helping to put together for the Notre Dame versus Navy trip in Ireland. And also, we have some big news about social media. Ben, we are now official on Twitter. What's the term? Of the blue?
Verified.
Verified. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. We are now verified on Twitter. Not saying that we're more special than anybody else, because anybody can get themselves blue lit and verified and ready to go. But you could see more of us on Twitter. That's all I'm saying. Isn't that awesome, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
And you are
exciting.
You are the founder of the feast on that one, my friend, because you took care of that, and I just want to say thank you publicly for it.
No problem.
All right, so getting into business for this week's video. And by the way, as you guys notice, we're on Monday, so that means Ben, you had a day shift today, so we're on the same page for at least today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, which
it was
awesome.
Weird getting up really early for work, though. I will say that.
welcome to my world. I've been doing that for the last 3 years, but I know how you feel. So let's just talk a little Battlehawks, St. Louis Battlehawks for just a second to start this video. So we haven't been talking a lot about that on this channel lately, but
they deserve a shout out this week.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they deserve a shout out for last week as well. They didn't quit. They tried to get back in the game with DC, but it just fell short. Yeah. But Battlehawks, they are coming off a very impressive win over the Vegas Vipers. But then again, the Vipers, along with the Guardians, are the two teams where everybody seems to be coming off an impressive win over them.
Yes.
But yeah, the Battlehawks are at 4-2, and they defeated the Vegas Vipers by the final score of a 29-6 this past Saturday night. And I got to tell you, Ben, a lot of guys on this team looked really good, especially quarterback A.J. McCarron.
Oh, McCarron looked really good.
Yes, the final stats for him, 23 of 29, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I love seeing that with no turnovers, because the interception that he threw against DC the week before, that hurt.
It hurt. Yeah. No, it was an awesome game. Was a little shaky in the beginning. It seems like both teams kind of were feeling each other out in that first quarter, but man, after that first quarter, St. Louis started to kick it into another gear. So always good to get that victory. And next week will be a very interesting storyline if Houston can win tonight against DC. So we shall see, since Houston's on the horizon.
Yes, exactly. And Houston, they're the ones that have been tearing it up in this league along with DC, because like you just said, we got the two Stallions going at it tonight. And I'm not sure, is next week at Houston, or do they come to the Battle Dome?
I think it's in Houston. Well, yeah, I think it's in Houston.
Okay. Well, just real quick, just to point out a couple other guys from the Battlehawks this week that performed really, really well. Running back Brian Hill had 71 yards on 14 carries. Couldn't find the end zone, but it's okay. He set us up for some points. But the big name for the receiving game, Darius Shepard, 79 yards on 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. He had himself one heck of a game. He really did. Stepped up big when we needed it. Made some of those catches were really, really impressive. But then a guy on defense that I got to talk a little bit about here. Well, not really talk about, but give a shout out to. Where is that? Lavert Hill, 2 big interceptions. came up big. One of them was when Vegas was driving, and just when we thought they were going to try to make things interesting, he came up and shut the Vipers down. So he deserves a shout out. So
yeah, it was a phenomenal game, top to bottom. I mean, beginning to end, however you want to say it. It was St. Louis really put on a clinic. What was that? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday night.
Saturday. I almost said yesterday. Saturday.
It sometimes feels like yesterday.
St. Louis has had quite a bit of Sunday games for the option of either playing Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday.
One Thursday game, and that was against the Seattle Sea Dragons week 2.
But yeah, no, they look good. They looked really, really good. So,
well, and that's what it's going to be going down the stretch here for these last 4 games, is just fighting off Seattle for that second spot. I mean, I seriously doubt we're going to win the division, so we have to fight off Seattle. That's what it's going to come down to. And I still stand by with what I said about DC in our TikTok video, that the only thing I'll repeat is their fans sit to pee. That's all I'll say. Otherwise, there was some cursing in there that was not good. So with that said, moving on to some Notre Dame news, since that's what this channel is about. Just a little news from spring practice. And so far, it seems the team is really clicking well, especially the early enrollees. And grad transfer Sam Hartman, he seems to be fitting in really well with the coaches and players, especially the relationship with the receivers. And Ben, I know you've seen the footage that we do have from Sam Hartman. You said it yourself before we started filming here that he's been making it look easy in practice.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems to just throw that ball, and that ball just comes off his hand like a cannon. I mean, he just lets it fly. And he threw it Notre Dame's pro day.
Yes.
So, which is incredible. And he got some really high praise from Michael Mayer. So that should tell you pretty much everything you need for that. I mean, that pass, yesterday he had an impressive pass too, but that pass to Mayer on that pro day, man, if we can get that going this season, that offense could be rolling.
Can you imagine if we had Sam Hartman this past season and how amazing that would have looked?
Could you imagine if we had Sam Hartman from the beginning?
Oh, geez.
How different would this team be?
Well, the thing is, I'm not too sure about that. I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just trying to look at it from all angles. This season is the first time that Sam Hartman's playing in a pro style offense.
Yeah,
because from what I've been reading and what I've seen, the offense that he was playing at Wake Forest, I hate saying this. It almost sounds like a dirty word, but a gimmick offense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. I think there's still plenty of elements in a pro style that's going to be familiar to him, but I don't know. It's just really hard for me to process right now and hard to figure out where this is going to go. But of course, the spring game will give us a good idea of how he's doing in that offense.
Yeah. Yeah. So and him and a couple of our other guys, they're looking really, really good.
Yeah, they're getting a great start. Absolutely.
And that chemistry is what matters. And the good thing this season, and I'm not taking anything away from Navy, we start the season off in a fairly good position. There is no right off the bat primetime game. There is, a team where you're expected to beat them. You should beat them pretty handily in the Naval Academy, So, get that chemistry down and let's go to town against Navy. So,
yes, exactly. And all I know is I cannot wait till till August gets here. I for sure will be there in Ireland. The plane tickets are booked and the hotel is
I'll be there in spirit.
I wish you could be there. But I understand, school will be starting up back here, and
yep.
Yeah, it's, man, I really wish you could go, Ben. I really do. But also some unfortunate news out of spring practice. Notre Dame has 6 players that are no longer on the team, whether that's via the medical retirement or leaving for.
One of them was a medical retirement, which, I mean, when you're having heart problems, that's nothing. That's pretty serious stuff.
Yep.
So
Ron Paulus's kid, Ron the third.
So I mean, we wish that kid nothing but the best. But
yeah,
I mean, it stinks to lose guys. I guess the silver lining on that though is that they're pretty far down on the depth chart. It's not like you're losing a Hartman or a Brandon Merriweather, or a Buckner. You're losing, a guy that most likely wouldn't even be starting.
Well, let's break it down here. I've got the players up and a little report on them, and I'm not saying that this isn't a big deal because, of course, you want to have depth, especially with some key positions.
And it hurts to lose anybody that you've recruited to your university. Period.
Yes. But cornerback Philip Riley, he just played 6 snaps last year. He hasn't really been playing that much in the time that he's been here. Caleb Johnson, the offensive lineman. Let's see, where did I mean, he was competing with Joe Alt and Blake Fisher. So yeah, he's gonna be down on that depth chart. He didn't even play at all last year. Josh Bryan, the kicker, he kicked 1 extra point, I think. Let's see. Yeah, he has. From what it sounds like, he hasn't really been he hasn't really seen a lot of playing time. But that's what we got the kicker from USF for. I mean, we're going to be okay there.
Yeah.
Will Schweitzer, the linebacker, he didn't play at all in 2022. He played in 3 games in 2021, so that was it. And then Justin Walters, the safety. Yeah, he was just a lot. That's what it really is. All these guys were just buried on the depth chart. So it's not like we're saying it doesn't hurt as far as depth goes, but what kind of playing time were they going to see if they're buried that deep on the depth chart? So yeah, it always sucks to lose guys, but when you actually look at it, what were they going to be able to contribute, being where they were at? And I wish them nothing but the best. I hope they can go somewhere and be the standout guy that starts and gets a ton of reps and all that. I really wish them nothing but the best. So anyway, Ben, sounds like spring practice is doing pretty well so far, but we got to talk about this news for Notre Dame. Micah Shrewsberry is now the Notre Dame men's basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
And he was at practice, I believe, yesterday.
Yep.
So what do you think about that hire to replace Mike Bray?
About the best hire that you could have. I mean, you talk about a guy that's coming home. Micah is originally from Indiana. A guy that clearly knows how to get the best out of a team. He understands the situation that not only he is walking into, but the situation that is at Notre Dame, and that is that he's coming from Penn State, a school that, I mean, you say Penn State, you think of football. You say Notre Dame, you think of football. I'm not taking anything away from the basketball team, but I mean, you're shadowed by the icon that is Notre Dame football. So he understands how to navigate these waters, as best as he possibly can. And this is a guy that took a Penn State team that hadn't been to the NCAA tournament in many years to an NCAA tournament appearance, so a step in the right direction. And the even cooler thing is, it sounds like some of the guys that Penn State had recruited with him are trying to get out or opting out of their letters of intent and trying to come to Notre Dame. Now, these are just speculative rumors, but there are a few guys in that Penn State class that are from Indiana. So that will make it very, very interesting, since this is definitely a build from the ground up, I should say.
Well, one of the guys that's looking to follow Shrewsberry, and I don't know if I can give names just because it's only speculation. I'm just not going to do that anyway. But we got a kid who is a forward in the top 100 that is possibly looking to follow Shrewsberry here to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
If that says anything about what kind of a guy he is as a coach.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. You're right. We may not see instant results from year one when he does take over. I mean, he's officially been announced as the coach, yes. But when it's time for action, it's true that things might be a little bit of a struggle at first because he's getting his feet wet at a new place, and well, as we all know, we pretty much have to build this team up from scratch. I mean, we got a lot of guys that graduated. We have a lot of guys that transferred out, which so I think we only have 3 guys on the roster right now or something absurd like that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a year or two to really get this going, but we've seen stranger things happen. So he could do this. He could. I'm not ruling it out. But I'm just saying I'm not expecting any Final Four appearances instantly or anytime soon. But that's the funny thing about this, Ben, is Notre Dame will always be football first, but they've always been known to have a great basketball program as well. I mean, look at what Digger Phelps did in the 20 or so years that he was there. I mean, but it's just amazing that something like that gets overshadowed. I mean, that's great in itself.
Yeah.
That's great in itself. But when football is number one, and then you have a strong basketball program for all those years getting shadowed, if you will, I mean, that says something right there.
Yeah.
It's not like, all these basketball schools like Duke or, North Carolina or, all these teams that have very strong basketball programs, but mediocre football, which I'm not saying that North Carolina hasn't been good, but, they're not consistently in the top 10 every year. And, Duke, they're really not, they've never really been a powerhouse in football. And, yeah, I mean, you guys all get the point of what I'm trying to make here. But I'm just saying, when you have 2 powerhouses like that, hopefully we can get back to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the goal, but yeah, will be interesting.
Yeah. So exciting times here with new coaches coming in. It's crazy. The core there used to be, Mike Bray, Brian Kelly, Muffet McGraw, and what's the hockey coach's name? But now I think the hockey coach is the only original, if you will, and because everybody else is gone now, it's crazy. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about some general college football news, which has kind of become a segment on our videos here. Deion Sanders, Ben, making some waves at Colorado yet again. And this time it is about numbers on the players' jerseys. And you wouldn't think that would be such a big deal or a newsworthy thing, would it?
Nope. But when you got primetime coaching you, everything's newsworthy.
Yep. It's all going to be questioned or reported on or whatever. So it sounds like what Primetime's doing is he's going to basically having the guys for a number of things here. He's going to have them earn their number.
No pun intended.
Yes. No pun intended. He's going to have them earn their number. Yeah. And also he's not going to let players do things like have the number 0, and he's going to have numbers that
are positional.
That are positional. Because we've seen a lot of guys. We've seen a lot of guys on the offensive line have single-digit numbers, and same with defensive ends, like single-digit numbers. Yeah. No, he's looking to try to eliminate that to some degree, or maybe all the way.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and he has definitely raised eyebrows with that one. The earning the numbers I like. I mean, I like both, but I think the earning the numbers is the neat thing, because I mean, he is all about getting the best out of his players, and he is about earning everything. and he's humbling these kids really, really quickly at Colorado. So I don't see anything wrong with anything that he's doing currently.
No, it's just I of course what the people are focusing more on is his charisma when he was a player in the NFL and how he would always make a lot of noise. But for some reason, they don't think that these guys can be coaches for whatever reason. Like they're thinking that a guy like him is going to produce nothing but a bunch of cocky and arrogant, future prime times. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. But I like these two quotes from this article talking about it. The first quote here from Coach Sanders: "You're not wearing 0. That would never happen because that means you're nothing," Sanders said. "I don't understand who wants a 0. I don't understand why you want to be a nothing. I don't get that." And the second quote: "Everything you do around here will be earned. We ain't giving you nothing," Sanders said. "So you got to go get it and you got to take it." And just despite all the circus around him coaching at Colorado from the media, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
And it's true in the world, despite how some might portray the world today. But you have to earn everything that you get.
Yep.
Nothing's handed to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and just the mere fact now that since he's at Colorado, that teams that wouldn't normally be paying much attention to Colorado are now paying attention. And now it has become we need to beat Colorado because of who's there. So you talk about teams bringing their all.
Mm-hmm.
Sanders is getting ready for that because he knows what storm's coming.
Well, their first game of the season is against TCU, and TCU, they just played for the national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as it was, TCU's still a tough football team. They still got there. They did what was asked of them, and they're still not going to just lay down for anybody, no matter how bad that game was.
Yeah.
But, that's one thing I've never understood either is why would you want your number to be 0? I mean, I'm sure there's guys all throughout different sports that have had a reason for it, but I wouldn't want the number 0.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I do remember I forget who it was, but I think there was some basketball player who had the number 0, and he said it was to represent all the people who believed in him.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can maybe think of. But other than that, I wouldn't want to be 0 anyway.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't get it either. Well, all I know is, folks, a lot of stuff going on, even for the off season. The XFL is in full stride, and in a few weeks,
USFL starts up.
USFL starts up in Bend. You owe me some bets for
I do
for last year.
I do.
So let's rewind what Ben has to do. He's already fulfilled one punishment. That's how we do it. We make a bet. It's not for money. It's the loser gets punished, just like the TV show Impractical Jokers. So far, Ben has done one punishment, and that was he had to call some random person up and ask them to marry him. He also has to do one show dressed as Papa Smurf.
Yep.
Because he lost 4 times last year. 4 times.
Yep.
The third thing he has to do is get his chest and stomach waxed, either at the salon or by me with a thing of duct tape. And the fourth one I'm thinking on.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking on. But it's got to be stuff that we can't get arrested for or severely hurt. And you getting waxed wouldn't severely hurt you.
No.
So yeah, the USFL is coming. We'll be ready for that. I'm with the Houston Gamblers. Ben, you're kind of deciding on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay with the Stallions.
Okay.
Keep it real. But
like an on and off relationship, that's what it sounds like.
No, I don't know, man. It's like I felt kind of bad because I jumped into the Stallions and then they won the whole thing, and I'm like, man, I kind of feel bad though that they won the whole thing. I don't know. It's not like I had foresight they were going to win the whole thing.
Well, they did have all the games played in Birmingham, so that was a good indication. Yeah. But four hub cities this year, which means, and 3 of those teams are in their respected markets. To all the people complaining, so all the people complaining about that can shut up. They're on their way.
Yeah.
So,
But,
all right. Well, that covers everything that we have to talk about this week. So on that note, everyone, I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And as we always say, good night, God bless, and go Irish.
Go Irish.